Hi there, this is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. In this video, we're discussing Death by Dumpling, written by Vivien Chien. It's the first book in a cozy mystery series. And what I like about this series is that it's all set in an Asian shopping centre. So in the shopping centre, all the stores are Asian themed. And I just found that very unique. And even in the plaza of this shopping centre, there's a koi pond, there's a bridge that goes over the pond, and I found just this whole setting made for some great relationships between all the characters and great interactions between them, and it was just so unique and so different in all the series I've read before that it made for a really fun book. For Lana Lee, our main character, life isn't going very good. She's back working at her parents' restaurant in this shopping centre. She walked out on her job, she broke up with her boyfriend, she's racking up credit card debt, so life is not looking peachy for her. So she feels like she's in a bit of a rut. So anyway, she's going about her day. She's taking a delivery of lunch up to the manager of the shopping centre, Mr. Feng. And as she approaches his office, she hears an argument going on. And it's an argument between another person her own age who helps in a store her parents own and the office manager, Mr. Feng, and it's about rent. So Mr. Feng's telling this other girl that he's putting the rent up in their shop. Anyway, Lana Lee drops off the lunch and goes back to work. Thinks nothing much of it, wonders if their rent is going up in her parents' restaurant, and she's thinking about asking them, but she doesn't want to bug them about that getting their business. Not long after that, things blow up. There's a big scene, big heightened scene. Mr. Feng is found dead in his office. There's just a disturbance in the whole shopping centre. All the shop owners are all friends, it seems, and the news disturbs them all very much. So they all start closing down their shops. They're all crowding around wondering what's going on. When the police get there on the scene, they're all crowding around the crime scene, trying to find out what's going on, trying to find out what happened to Mr. Feng, who is kind of their landlord in this book, but also their friend. So it seems it's not just business relationships they all have, they're all friends in this book as well. And that's the other unique thing about this book, I found, that just seemed all the characters were all tight-knit. It was like a huge family in this shopping centre. But having this tight-knit community also means there's not many secrets. What does that mean? As the investigation tracks on a little bit in this book, they find out that it could be the dumplings that were the murder weapon, the dumplings from Lana Lee's parents' restaurant. Mr. Feng had an allergy to shellfish, and somebody put shellfish in the dumplings. Was it deliberate? Was it an accident? Did somebody really want to murder Mr. Feng? That's what they're trying to solve. And all these fingers start pointing at the chef at the restaurant and also at Lana herself, because she delivered those dumplings. There are people that she thought of as friends and family in this community, in the shopping centre. They are now pointing fingers at her and saying she's a murderer. So determined to prove herself and her friend Peter, who's the chef, innocent, she's going to go and investigate herself. And she ropes in her roommate and friend Megan, and Megan seems super keen to help out anyway. So they're going to try to investigate and find out who killed Mr. Feng. Was it murder or was it an accident? If it was murder, why? What's the motive? Like many cozies, we have a romance angle in this book as well. And it starts off between Lana, our main character of course, and one of the police detectives. And this police detective is described as very good looking, very tall, very strong, green eyes, chiseled features, all the works. And of course they start to notice each other, and as the book goes on, there seems to be a bit of flirting going on, a bit of eye contact. So we're not sure at the start of this book what's going to happen between them both, but as we get towards the end, we wonder, okay, are they going to start dating, going out soon? That's the feeling you get by the end of this book. So many cozies, we get this happening, this romance angle. And it works as well because it means that Lana Lee, the main character, has got a kind of angle into the police force, because many cozies need that as well. the main characters need some sort of angle to know somebody in the police force who can feed them info. And it happens in many cozies. The thing that stood out for me in this book is just how well the author wrote and developed all those relationships between all the people working in the stores in this shopping centre and all their children as well, who often help out in the stores, help out the parents who work in the stores. I thought it was just a great thing to see, because you have the older generation, the mothers and fathers, that age, bossing around all the children, even children who are adults themselves are being bossed around by their parents. And they're being bossed around even by people who aren't their parents, but who are their parents' friends. And they think of them as aunties and uncles, and they're just this close-knit community. But you just feel all that in this book. That social structure, that social hierarchy is all built in to the shopping centre. And I found it very unique, and I just loved the way it was written and presented in this book. Of course, the first character I have to mention is Lana Lee. She's our main character in this book and in this series. Lana is a very good character. She's well-rounded. She's got a good history, and that history, helps feed into her motivations and her actions and feelings and thoughts throughout this book. I like the fact that she develops her detective skills, her investigating skills throughout the book. She's very much an amateur at the start, and you can get that sense, and you see that in many scenes in the book. And I like the fact that she's just this amateur person just trying to prove herself innocent and help her friend out. And she seems more motivated to help her friend out than herself. And I think that's a great sign in this character. It shows a bit of selflessness, that she's got some great character growth going on, and she's a well-rounded character. I also love the way she interacts with her mother and her mother's friends. I loved her wit and her perceptions in this book. The way she sees things and thinks about things just shows kind of a great balanced character. And I think it's going to be a fun character in this whole series. So I'm looking forward to reading more in this series. Megan is Lana's roommate and friend. I think Megan's another great character. Very vibrant, very fun, very outgoing, very loud. She seems louder and more outgoing than Lana, and she seems that character is going to be dragging Lana out of a rut a bit in this book, and also maybe in the rest of the series. Not sure yet, because this is the first book of the series that I've read. But I do like Megan a lot, and I loved her observations of life in the Asia Village shopping centre as well. I thought that they were quite fun observations, and also quite witty as well. And she just seems like she's going to be a fun character through this whole series. Betty Lee is Lana's mother. Now, Betty Lee is a larger-than-life character. Very fun character. Very vibrant. Very loud. I love when she walks in the scene sometimes and she just goes, "Hey, Lana," and she's telling Lana off, for all different things. Telling her what to do with everything in her life. How to cut her hair. How to live her life, basically. She seems a bit domineering as a parent, but she also seems quite fun and quite caring, and you get the sense that she just wants the best for her daughter, but maybe she goes about it the wrong way. But I've got a feeling that Betty Lee is going to be a character to watch in this series. Very fun character. I think she's going to be a barrel of laughs. Death by Dumpling, I think, is a strong start to a cozy mystery series, and it's very unique. I've not read a series before that has this setting and has this cast of characters, and all the characters just seem like a huge extended family, and it just made for a very comfortable, very fun, and just very exciting read for me. I rate it a 3.5 out of 5. It makes me want to read the whole series. To be honest, this one book makes me hungry to read every book in this series, and I'm hoping the author keeps writing more and more in this series. I want a long-running series with this series. Very fun book, very fun series, looking forward to more books. I do review many cozy mysteries on my channel. If you don't want to miss out on those videos, check out my channel and subscribe. I also have a cozy mystery playlist on my channel. It should be on your screen now.